Hey, we are at the letter H, H. This is Beatrice Basso. So the letter H has not a great reputation, more like a diminutive one. Any expression I can think of with H, ACCA, meaning the letter H, means little or nothing, like non imparare un H, to not learn anything, non valere un H, to not be worthy anything, or something is due H, it's like 0 plus 0. And I think this bad sort of diminutive reputation comes from the Latin, where the tendency really of Latin to eliminate aspiration, the sound, which comes so easy to English speakers and so hard to Italian speakers, who instead of saying hard, particularly when we first enter an Anglo-Saxon context, we might say hard without pronouncing it. But I want to reevaluate the lowly, humble H today through the words of Eduardo de Filippo and the Neapolitan dialect. So it's spring 1945, and the Second World War, which caused immense destruction in many places, including Naples, has just ended. And Eduardo de Filippo has penned this play, Napoli Milionaria, Millionaire Naples, which he wrote quickly, and it's entirely written in Neapolitan dialect. And super briefly, Amalia is a sort of matriarch, a mother courage type, who in the midst of war and difficulty to sustain her family while her husband, Eduardo, who acted on top of directing and writing the play, is at war, she needs to traffic in the black market, and then she gets a little intoxicated with the black market and other things. And long story short, for a series of events, the youngest daughter is very, very sick. And Eduardo, the husband, has just come back from the war. So they need the medicine, but the medicine is not really easy to find even in the black market. Finally, they do find it. And here's what Eduardo said. It's going to be my Neapolitan friend, Serena, who runs Monzu, my go-to Neapolitan Italian restaurant in San Diego, who will say it, because I'm not from Naples and it would be a little sacrilegious to say it. Here she goes.
Da passa nuttata.
Yeah?
Da passa nuttata.
So, and this is spelled A, H-A. Da passa a nuttata. When I translated this play with Linda Alper for the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, and then it was performed at ACT2, we translated it with "the night has to go by." So the last moment is Amalia sitting down. Eduardo gives her a little cup of coffee, because coffee makes everything a little better, and he says, "the night has to go by." Maybe we should have said, translation is infinite. We could have said must go by. And what this means is, of course, the long night of a sick patient and sort of waiting to see if the medicine has its effect, if just the fever is able to break. We're sort of waiting for dawn. And there's that subtle line of hope and unknowing, hope and danger, living through the crisis, right? There's no shortcut. You have to go through the night. You cannot avoid it. You have to go through it, which is resonant with right now, again, and all the decisions and waiting time we're enduring in different ways through the pandemic and other crises. And so the idea is, as Serena was telling me, if she keeps breathing through the night, and then it's dawn, and then we're okay, we're gonna be okay, but then the patient may also not make it. So the night brings both a sense of hopeful duration and sort of eerie, scary duration. So it's a large metaphor, and it's also a very simple moment at a kitchen table with a cup of coffee and a lot of fear and a lot of hesitation and maybe regret too. How it went down in Naples in 1945 after all the suffering of World War II was that there was a long silence after this line. And nobody knew what was happening next, including Eduardo, who talks about it in his diaries. And then suddenly a gigantic applause, right? It's like the hope and life. See you next Monday.